couple of different levels is that they hadn't come up with the money heretofore, okay? And now at the 11th hour, they're saying, okay, they've been able to scrape up the money, okay? But that gives us no indication that they're going to continue to pay on time. And, I suspect we might find ourselves in a similar situation a few years down the road. I mean, I don't see, is it an operating business currently?
Yes.
All right, so then why hasn't the taxes been paid in the past? And what are they going to do differently to assure us that they will pay it in the future?
Nothing. I mean, they've made no...
Anybody's going to pay their taxes.
I would like to propose we just move to a vote.
I agree.
Okay. So can I get it?
Right,
well, actually, hold on. Before we go to a vote, I understand Councilman Gelfarb would be against.
Well. In fact, if I may add,
please.
We should realize that by letting people do this, the example we're setting for the approximately 11,000 people, 11,000 property owners, both residential and commercial in the town of Rye, and we're telling them wait year after year after year, don't pay your taxes year after year after year. And at the 11th hour and the 59th minute, when the auctioneer's gavel is about to go bang, then you can show up with all the taxes you owe plus 1% plus 500. Meanwhile, year after year after year, you didn't pay. Year after year after year, you ran a business that hopefully made some profits, that hopefully you had a reason to run this business, yet you didn't pay your taxes, and the schools had to operate, the town had to operate, the village had to operate, everyone's salaries who work hard for these towns and the villages and the schools had to do their job, they had to be paid, and yet we're sitting here like a bunch of suckers saying at 11:59 and 59 seconds, come on back, now you can have it back. And once the court system has transferred the property, unfortunately, it's the job of the taxing entity to auction the property off. And that's what I have to say.
Anybody else on the board agree with Councilman Gelfarb?
I'm leaning towards agreeing with Councilman Gelfarb.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Then, so if we just vote against, then...
Yeah, someone has to move the resolution, someone has to second it, and then there's an actual vote.
Okay, well, we can... Well, I get a motion to move the resolution.
Which is to permit them to redeem for 102, 347, 38.
Okay.
And someone needs to second it.
Right, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, Hope, would you call the roll?
Gelfarb?
Nay.
Mendocino?
Aye.
Nyors?
Nay.
Villanova?
No.
Corbett?
So you don't have a...
well, it doesn't make a difference. I guess, I'll abstain.
You need...
Make it easy for me to say yes, and then, say I'm a good guy. I'm going to say abstain. President.
Well, I don't know if we have that vote of president.
President Obama.
But you're not, you can't abstain unless you have a reason to abstain. Abstentions are really for
I can't say I'm undecided. I mean, I'll say, if I had, well, it's easy now. I'll say yes, it's easy. If it
done. Okay.
Thank God I didn't have to make that decision on my own. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. No, he saved me.
Okay. I'll pass that on to them. Now they may want to come to the May meeting and yell at you. So be forewarned.
They don't have to yell at me.
They can't yell at me, Michelle.
Well, I'm going to yell at the others.
Before Goldie or after?
All right. Okay, let's keep moving. Assessor. Actually, as long as you're up there, Mr. Mecca, would you mind giving us a report, please?
Okay, just going to update you to a few things. As far as money, we will get to your money next week because the final money is coming in, and I'm very happy to say quite brisk.
Oh, wonderful.
We have changed the lockbox directly to TD Bank. We were using they were outsourcing it, and changing now to TD Bank directly has been as smooth an operation as you could possibly experience. We have Mr. Nowanick will tell you last year how many emails back and forth I had to go to these other people telling them this is wrong, that's wrong, you didn't do this right. This operation is perfectly smooth. Just Monday there were 292 payments in the box at $946,000, and all A-OK, no problems.
Terrific. That's great.
Thing number one. Thing number two, we did try phone calls for taxes, but that didn't work out so good because the main thing you get, if they answer, you say, I know it, don't you think I know it?
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, so what we did was add to...
Did you find anybody that didn't know?
Well, this has found people who didn't know. On here is added, prior taxes due, please contact the office.
Okay.
That generated a lot of people saying, I forgot that I didn't even pay that tax. And that generated some pretty, good response. One other point that I'd like to bring up, we are getting very close. This is an actual download of the bill from online. I'm very close to the finalization of that, where
wonderful.
They can go online and actually get a copy of their bill and pay it by there. Now, right behind that, we come in with the credit card. So the next 5 weeks or so, we'll be working with these companies to get this online. Because just yesterday or the other day, we had a person call, how much do I owe? So they said, well, you owe $1,950.87. They sent in a check of $1,950. I mean, you just asked on the phone, but this would eliminate stuff like that, because then we have to send a letter, we have to say you owe so much more, but this would eliminate that. So by June 1st, if all goes well, this will be up and running. So.
Wonderful. Honorable Mr. Mecca, Receiver of Taxes, I want to commend you for all the hard work you're putting in and moving forward with the department. I don't think there's been a month where we're not moving forward, so I want to thank you. And Mr. Norris, thank you for your help on the lockbox and all these various activities.
Yes, they were very helpful, both Bishop
and Mr. Nowotnik as well.
Yes, as well. So it's modernization, and people are taking it with no problem. Last year was a horse of a different color. This year is no questions asked. As I say, the payments are coming through, very clear, very quick, concise, so hopefully by the end of the month I'll have some kind of report on how we did last year for each collection versus how much came in this year. Last year was about a third over the counter, third lockbox, and a third.
Are we upgrading our KVS system?
We have to discuss that also. That's our next phase. Yeah.
Wonderful.
They want us to, and we have to meet with them.
Okay.
So, any
Thank
questions?
you so much. No, not from anybody else. Thank you so much, Mr. Mecca.
Okay,
Thank you.
pleasure.
Hey, Nick,
Mitch, did you have anything, or we're done? Thank you, Mr. Markowitz.
3rd Street
The revals are progressing nicely. Everything's good. Just it's on track.
Everything is fine.
Okay. But the physical inspections of commercial properties, actually, maybe take 2 seconds because it's probably worth it.
And the guy
The inspections of the commercial properties within the town of Rye commenced last Wednesday, the 21st. Vision Appraisal Technology has 4 field inspectors out throughout the town.
Are we prioritizing their inspections?
They are prioritizing their inspections.
But we want to get them we should get them into the top tertiary properties.
I know they have been in a couple of those, but understand they're collecting physical data. They're not collecting valuation.
I understand, but
I know for a fact they've been in Kohl's and certain other places because they've come in periodically and chat with me about the progress.
All right. And it's coming along well?
So far, so good. It's been very quiet, which is a good thing from my standpoint.
Now, we were criticized in the local press for not having been with you at the Chamber of Commerce.
My personal view of that is that meeting was set up as an informational session to discuss with the Chamber what the intent of the town is, why we're doing it, how it's going to proceed, to solicit from them issues that they perceive. That's my personal view of it. It was an informational session to get across to them what's going to be going on, why, and we'd like their cooperation. I will tell you that prior to commencement of the commercial data collections, the Chamber was advised of the schedule by email from myself, as were the villages. The Westmore News, I just want to thank for printing a little article. We tried to get it out there in the newspaper.
Oh, wonderful.
It was an article printed last week talking about what we're doing.
Oh, beautiful.
So we're trying to get it out to all the people who are interested, affected, and we're trying to explain to them why we're doing it.
And that's why I wanted to thank you for taking the time to go to the Chamber. I think you've been to the Village of Rybrook.
Went to the Village of Rybrook.
You tried to set up meetings with both Mamaroneck and Portchester, as I understand, correct? Portchester you've been trying to set up
meetings. I was in Mamaroneck at
Okay.
at a village board meeting. Portchester has scheduling problems, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, well, but what I